Happy Monday. Welcome into another edition of 3-Point Stands presented by Mountain Dew. Meghan, Triplett, John Roser here with you for the next 10 minutes, and we have to go because we have so much to talk about. And let's start in college basketball, Roser. For the city of Memphis, the Tigers get a huge victory against Houston on Sunday morning. What does this win mean for the Memphis Tigers?
Well, look, this is now, the second, double-digit win they've had over Houston. If you look at Houston, are they that good? Because they haven't technically, according to the NCAA tournament committee who puts together the quads and everything, they haven't beaten anybody this year. Houston has not. They have not beat. They don't have a single quad one win this season. So, but that being said, for Memphis, they did what they were supposed to do. They were dominant beginning to end in that game. A little bit at the beginning of the second half. I think Houston got it to 13, but other than that, Memphis didn't. They got it to 59-46, and then Memphis took off on another 9-0 run or something. And the game was totally put away. So, Memphis did what they were supposed to do. I still have my reservations that I love the way they're playing. They gotten back to playing a little more pressure ball, and they look just absolutely unstoppable defensively. But when they play a team that has similar athletes, that is structured, that it will not go their way. Because I do think when they play better teams, they will, again, the issues of turning the ball over and, missed free throws can obviously pop their head up for Memphis basketball from time to time. We've seen that I think that is still where my reservation is, that I'm not quite buying into everything because of that.
Look, I think
but they're good. They're good. They're way better than they were 2 months ago.
Right. Celebrate it, because we have come a mighty, mighty long way. I think for this one, what it showed me is that this Tigers group can pull it off. They can get it all together. As you mentioned, for the defense was there. They actually were playing offensive plays. They were having fun. You could tell they actually liked each other and they were really into it. And it was that Tigers group that we thought that they could be earlier this season. They can be that group. Still high in turnovers. There's still some issues there. 3-point shooting can always be better. The Tigers can find a way. I agree with you. I do think this game has been solidified that Houston is not the team that we thought that they were. They have dealt with some injuries of their top players, but they're just not that group. But the Tigers can be that. And it's the perfect story for a win as you get ready for conference tournament. And now the conversation is, have you done enough to go ahead and already get into the tournament? Maybe so, but would it be so much better if you can kind of bottle this up and bring that same energy into the conference tournament and just go ahead and win the whole entire thing and be that Tigers group that we know that they can be. Penny has found a way. He has figured out the core group. He has figured out the rotation. He has figured out the lineups, and he has kind of figured out that offense that we were seeing kind of lack a little bit there a couple of weeks ago. And so what it showed me that the Tigers can be the Memphis Tigers, and I love it. Celebrate.
Yeah, and the Houston thing is, it's great. Yeah, you got 2 wins over Houston. But again, if you look at the committee and what the tournament seeding projections are by all the people, Jerry Palm, Joe Lenardi, and you could say, oh, don't listen to them. Those guys are pretty accurate and know where these teams are going to be seeded based on their quality of wins and everything. And Houston this whole time, while they've been a top 10, top 15 team ranked in the polls, they've been a 7 to 10 seed because they don't have the wins. So the 2 wins over Houston, we think those are great. Those are great wins, awesome wins. How does the committee value those wins, though, when Houston doesn't have any quad one wins themselves? That's what we're going to find out. I agree with you. Still go ahead and win the conference tournament. I want to see them play SMU again because SMU beat them both times.
Okay, we'll have to wait and see. Conference tournament starts later this week. Let's get into the NBA. What a week of just basketball in general. But can we talk about the 50-point performances that we saw? And I know it started off with John Morant on Monday. A week ago, John Morant had 52 points. And then LeBron James coming up against the Warriors on Saturday night, finishing with 56. And then Sunday, in a Celtics-Nets showdown, Jayson Tatum, 54 points. Which performance was the most shocking and impressed you the most, I'll say?
The most impressive was Jayson Tatum's. I watched, because I got to turn this game off, the Tigers game off, midway through the second half. And I flipped over and I saw basically the last 4 minutes of the first quarter of Nets Celtics and through the rest of the game. Tatum was absolutely unbelievable. And we saw that in the Grizzlies game earlier this week. Boston has turned a corner, and Jayson Tatum for real looks like the guy who can lead a team be the best player on a championship team. He was unbelievable. He did it hitting threes. He did it from the mid-range. He did it driving to the basket. His ball handling was amazing.
The threes
was
me, like
and they did it against. That's the first time Brooklyn has had their entire team this whole season together. And Brooklyn looked like a team.
Well, without Ben Simmons, we had to.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Without Ben, but like this is only like the third time KD and Kyrie have played together, and it's the first time with KD, Kyrie, and Seth Curry and Andre Drummond and those guys. And they looked like a team down the stretch that didn't quite know what they were going to do and have the chemistry. It's just not as simple as just, hey, just throw the ball to KD and everybody get out of the way.
Well, the defense is lacking, especially down the stretch.
The defense absolutely was lacking, and that's where I don't know if Brooklyn is ever, even if they make the playoffs, which I think they will, why I don't really see them being able to come out of the East, because the better teams you play, that's just going to be a gauntlet to go through. But Jayson Tatum, to me, Tatum has been, I mean, he has been unbelievable and solidified himself. I think, no doubt, Jayson Tatum is one of the 10 best players in the NBA right now.
Look, I agree with you on Jayson Tatum. I think, honestly, all three were, like, impressive.
Oh, yeah, they were all – I mean, 50 points is 50 points.
Right, but, but I think for me, I'm going to be biased. I got to say Ja Morant. It feels like – I know it was 7 days ago, but I got to say Ja, because Roser, as, like, fans of this franchise, we work for this franchise, we're from this city, we haven't seen this ever by a Grizzlies player. And, like, the way he did it, 52 points, we needed 52 points.
Yeah, no, he needed it. He needed all of it.
Yeah. No one else was getting going. And I know it was against San Antonio Spurs. So I think the one that, like, resonated more with me was Ja Morant. If I look at the other two guys, I'm going to say LeBron James, just because it was against the Warriors.
Oh, my God.
Look, I know you're a LeBron James hater, too, but look.
The Warriors are good. He did it against a bad team.
But the fact that what the storyline centered around the Lakers, what people are saying, take it off national TV. Why are we keep showing Lakers games? And, I mean, he put the whole team on his back. He's the first player to have a 50-point performance before the age of 21 and after the age of 35. And I think it just showed me that I think LeBron has probably a couple more 50-point performances that we could very well see in his career. I mean, all equally just as great, but I definitely agree with you. The Celtics have figured it out. Jaylen Brown is back, and to see them both back out there on the court and Jayson Tatum to still go off. A lot of times when Brown and Tatum are together on the court, people are like, well, who's going to be the guy? It's always kind of felt like, is it going to be Tatum? Is it going to be Brown, for them both to be on and Tatum to be on like no other? I mean, great weekend of NBA basketball. And really quickly, we got to talk about the NFL. Some crazy stuff happening with Tom Brady. Is he retire? Is he not retire? Does he want to play for the 49ers? And then Aaron Rodgers. He's broken it down reportedly to the Packers, the Steelers, the Titans, the Broncos. Which one are you following the most?
Well, I think Rodgers will be the first domino to fall.
Okay.
And a lot of people do think he's just going to stay with Green Bay because they've said they're going to open up their checkbook, because that was one of the things. They didn't get Odell Beckham because all they offered Odell Beckham was the veteran minimum. He wanted to go to Green Bay, and all they offered was the veteran minimum. And you got to think, if they would have had Devontae Adams and Odell Beckham, like the 49ers, we don't beat Green Bay in the playoffs because all Rodgers did, he didn't trust anybody else, and he only would throw to Adams. So you got to think that's got to be a big part if he's going to return to Green Bay, that they've got to open up the checkbook and get him some more weapons on the outside. But I mean, I tend to think for Rodgers, I would look heavy at Pittsburgh. I would big time. Pittsburgh has a Super Bowl defense. They have a Super Bowl defense, and they've got weapons. Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Najee Harris. He has weapons there too. I think Pittsburgh, if Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh, I think Pittsburgh is the favorite to come out of the AFC next year, even over the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. That's how highly Titans. Ryan Tannehill's your quarterback. That would still mean Ryan Tannehill's your quarterback. So no,
it is.
No. So I think if Rodgers, if I'm Rodgers, if I'm leaving Green Bay, I go to Pittsburgh. Tom Brady will be the quarterback of the 49ers next year.
Tom Brady's retired. Tom Brady's retired, and I can't figure this out. How did we get here? I have said goodbye to him, and I've started to like him.
I've started to like Tom Brady. You got to think about this. If Tom Brady was quarterback of the 49ers, we don't have that much time. We got like 30 seconds. If Tom Brady was the quarterback of the 49ers this past year, did the 49ers win the Super Bowl?
What?
Yes. The answer is yes.
I mean, if Tom Brady's on any team, do they win the Super Bowl? Probably so. At this point, that's an easy statement to make, and I agree.
But the Detroit Lions aren't winning the Super Bowl with Tom Brady.
Oh my God. All right. That's all the time we have. Goodbye.